Ooh, okay. All right. Forgive this crazy look. So I just got off the phone with someone who is deciding to go into real estate. He's a UCF student, and he brought up a really interesting question that I get asked a lot, and I don't take the time to actually sit and talk about it with those that actually it might do them some good to know if they're getting into real estate. So I decided that I wanted to just talk a little bit about something that I'm writing a blog about, and also what I just got off the phone with TJ about. He sent me a message on Saturday and wanted to find out basically what it takes to be a real estate agent in 2016, and wanted to get mentored a little bit and see how it goes. Actually learn by observation, which is very, very important, but something that I found interesting as I was talking to him, that I realized that there are so many people that could benefit from this, because there are a lot of real estate agents out there right now that aren't doing everything that they can do. I'm not going to say that they're not doing a good job, because if it works for them, then it works for them. But I know for myself that I have learned more with regard to sales and actually helping my clients through sales and through learning research that no one told me, no matter where I was. Keller Williams, they didn't tell me, sorry, it's crazy hair day. They didn't tell me the things that I learned through actual sales agents, and they weren't specifically in real estate to do this. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to talk to you guys and say, hey, if you're looking to get into real estate, this is what, if I were starting out, this is what I wish somebody would have told me. I wish someone would have said, hey, you want to do boom, 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 boom. And it would have saved me tons and tons of time. But hey, somebody has to learn from the experience, and I'm glad that I can give it to you guys. Aw, I love the hearts. Don't mind my nails. They look crazy right now. I let my daughter do them. She's 5. She's better than I am, though. Bought a house and got ripped off. Right? It's so important to know information, even if you're not a real estate agent. Just to have the real estate information is huge. I mean, it can take you from having absolutely no business whatsoever and really not understanding your market. If you research and know where to go, it can take you from that to catapulting you to great heights. So thank you. I appreciate that. So basically, I want to break down to you guys what I told TJ in our hour of talking about what it would take to be a realtor nowadays. Now, I'm in Central Florida, so some of what I'll tell you may not necessarily pertain as far as the links and the logistics, but the sentiment is the same as far as what to do, how to attack it, get the information any way you can. And I'm just going to start with the first 5 things that you can do. Do what others are not willing to do. Do what other real estate agents are not willing to do. It's not that they can't. It's not that they don't have the ability. It's not that they don't have the resources. They don't do it. So then you can profit from that. I don't believe in competition. I don't believe that I want to compete with anyone. Obviously, there's going to be things that you're going to go after in real estate that other agents are going to go after at the same time. But I don't want to compete with anyone, because I think what I want for myself, I want for everyone. But I also know that I'm willing to do what a lot of people aren't willing to do. So today was it wasn't supposed to be a marketing day. Actually, marketing is supposed to be on Monday. Marketing Monday. And today is pretty much devoted to cold calling, but I had a lot to catch up on, so I thought I'd take the time to talk to you guys about this. Anyway, 5 steps. Number 1, like I said, do what others are not willing to do. And that equates, in my mind, to exposure. You don't want to be a secret agent. You want people to know who you are. You want people to know that you're in the business, you can help them, and let them know what your niche is, if you have a specific niche, or if you just, you're generally in residential real estate, then be in residential real estate. But do I like sex? That's hilarious. Who doesn't like sex? Okay, so do what others aren't willing to do. Get yourself some exposure. Everyone should know who you are, and as the great Grant Cardone says, if they don't know who you are, they can't buy from you. How would anybody buy something from you if they don't know about you? You want people to constantly hear your name or, your brand, whatever it is, hear your name, see your face, talk about what do you do to become an agent. That's what I'm talking about right now. Now, I'm not talking about how you get licensed. You can look up everything from from every state you're in. You can see, okay, what kind of license do I need? How much does it cost? How much does it cost to enlist with MLS and the regional realtor, wherever you are, National Association of Realtors. This is literally how to make the money. This is how you make money in real estate. So again, number one, get yourself some attention. No one can buy from you if they don't know who you are. You want people to know you. You want people to say, hey, that's the whatever it is. So for instance, for myself, my niche is I'm an opera singing real estate agent. The Opera Realtor, and I personally guarantee you there's no other opera singing real estate agent that calls themselves the Opera Realtor. And I don't think they're going to want to after me, because when you Google the Opera Realtor, go ahead, Google it, see. You're going to see me. You're going to see my face. You're going to see Andrea Pelletier, the Opera Realtor. And I did that for a very specific reason. I knew that the more that I said the Opera Realtor, the Opera Realtor, the Opera Realtor, as much as people might have gotten annoyed by it, they know me. They know my face. They know my voice. They should know my voice more, but they know me. And they also know that I'm a real estate agent. So, and it's a topic of discussion. So if there are some people that'll come and they'll, let me see, for instance, if you, I don't know, just pick any other profession or niche that you really like. If you just associate those enough, you keep saying it over and over and over, eventually people are going to associate you with that. So that's step one. Step two, and I think that we can't talk about this without this coming up. I personally don't like to do what a lot of other agents do, as far as, there are some things that you want to talk about. Thank you for defending me. There are some things that you want to talk about online with people because you want to get attention, but you don't want to get negative attention. And what I mean is, you don't want to say asinine things just for the sake of getting the attention. So, two things I wouldn't talk about online, ever. I almost said real estate. Politics, I'm 30, and religion. Those are two things I won't talk about. It's not because I don't have an opinion. I like to be diplomatic, and I feel like any good salesperson is the same, unless you have a specific niche that involves those things. I would not talk about religion. I would not talk about politics. And again, it's not because I don't have an opinion. It's because I have a lot of clients and an audience and a lot of followers who share, different views than for myself. So that's step two. Just be very aware of the content that you're putting out there. Also, like if you have tit shots online as a female, and you're going to be a real estate agent or selling anything, if you're not selling a bikini, you don't want to be exposed. Now, cleavage, I love cleavage. That's fine in my book, as you can see. But just be aware of the presence that you have. You don't want to sit there with, your friends and just do stupid shit. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It's pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, 3, know your market. Know who you're selling to. So try to decide as quickly as you can, well, who do I want to sell to? Who do I like? Who do I resonate with? And something that no one told me when I started, and I really wish somebody would have told me when I started, is that if you have a niche, it'll really help you. Because I went in just saying, give me all you got. And it was great for the experience, but then I quickly realized who I wanted to work with and who I didn't want to work with. Other agents, many other agents, don't see the benefit of filtering your price point, for instance. I choose not to work with every price point. It's not to say that I wouldn't have clients that are lower than, let's say, $500,000. However, I would prefer to work with those at a higher income bracket and a higher price point, $500,000 and up. And that's here in Orlando, because Orlando, there are a lot of homes that you can get that are a lot less. But you'll also get a shortage mentality. I'm just being completely honest. You're going to get a shortage mentality with people who are looking at a higher price point, because a lot of people come to Florida and they say, oh, I can get a house for, $150 and a 3-2 single family. Shit, I'll do that. But the thing about it is, you're thinking about people that are hustling. And if you're good with working with investors or somebody who's trying to hustle, hey, do you. That's not me. And the higher you go as far as your income bracket, I say this all the time, the higher you go, the less competition you'll have. So that is something I would highly recommend, is to really know your market. And if you are pretty well versed with speaking with just about anybody and you're fairly confident, I'd say go straight to the top. Don't fuck around. Just go straight to the top. So that's my little advice on that. Not just knowing your income bracket and not just knowing your market as far as that goes, but also knowing which zip code you want to work in. Yeah, okay. Well, hey, stay for the tips. It's fine by me. Knowing what zip code you want to work in actually helps, because, okay, so for instance, in Florida, we have a shit ton of zip codes everywhere. Well, where do you really want to be? Do you want to drive 30 miles to go to somebody's house or to show homes all day, or do you want to stay locally where you are? It just depends on your particular situation and your taste. What kind of price points are in a given zip code also really helps for you to determine where you want to be. You don't want to go to a zip code that's super saturated with real estate agents. For instance, in Orlando, there's a zip code 32828. There are a lot of real estate agents over here. And so while, yes, you could get business, and I have business myself here, it can be a little bit tougher for somebody first starting off, because unless you're hungry enough and you really want to go for it, then go for it. But that's just an example. So know your market, know what you're doing. Oh, OrlandoRealtors.org. If you guys are in Orlando, this is just an example of what I would do. This is fantastic. Go to this website, OrlandoRealtors.org. Even if you're not here, this is a good place to see zip code statistics, to see what it should look like. So if you're in a different state or a different area, I'm sure your local realtor association has something similar. But for us, on OrlandoRealtors.org, you can see zip code statistics. You can see county statistics, basically saying every week what's been going on with the market. Have sales increased? Have they decreased? Has the inventory gone up? So it shows you what kind of market that you're in. And it'll also tell you month by month, and it'll also tell you quarterly. So all this stuff you can be doing before you even get clients. Know your market. So again, let me go back. Number one, exposure. You have to get exposure. Don't get discouraged if, for instance, I'm looking right now and I see 6 people that are watching. That's okay. That's fine, because I'm talking to you guys, and even if I got one person that said, hey, that's really good information, and one thing I said, if it helps, that's what it's all about. And at the same time, why I'm benefiting is that I'm getting exposure. I'm talking to you through Periscope. I have Instagram. I have Twitter. I have LinkedIn. I have Snapchat. The Opera Realtor. So there are a lot of different platforms that I use. Get your exposure. Get as much exposure as possible. Don't stop. Don't get defeated. Don't feel like, oh, well, you know, I'm not seeming to get a response. Let me tell you what happened to me. When I felt like it wasn't working, when everyone told me, you work too hard. I actually had people tell me that. You work too hard. You do too much. No one's paying attention to what you do online. Doubters, friends, so-called friends, family, all of them said this. You spend far too much time on social media marketing. I've had people tell me that to my face. As a matter of fact, it just happened recently, until they realized just how much it really does benefit. But when I was really feeling like it wasn't working, the Chew called me. ABC's The Chew. We were the only family that they sought out to be on the show. Everyone else had to write in and say, hey, I know you guys are coming here for the Food and Wine Festival. I'd love to be a part of your audience. They had to write why they wanted to be a part of the audience. They had to vie for the attention of the producers on the Chew to be on the show. This is just one example, but this is what happened to me. I was the only person that they actually actively sought out, and it was because of Twitter. And they Googled, and they found me. And that, for me, was proof positive. Now, is that something that pertains to real estate? No. Did it pertain to singing as an opera singer? No. But you know what? I got an opportunity to be on the show. I wasn't in the audience. I was actually a part of the show. I got an opportunity to be on the show and sing, and whoever watched it that day or, watched it later, they saw me on there. And was it Mario Batali says, oh, you're an opera singing realtor. I said, yeah, the opera realtor. So those are the things I'm trying to attack, trying to get the attention of everyone. I had a chance to sing, and that's what mattered. Would I do it again? Maybe. But at the time, I knew that I had to get attention. It's all about exposure. Talk to people. Hand out a business card everywhere you go. If you do open house events, which is, I'm not opposed to them. I used to do them, but it was strictly for the marketing. It wasn't for the leads from the open house. It was actually just to market online. But if you do open house events, definitely market everywhere you can. Push it out on Twitter. Push it out on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you can download. If you get onto LinkedIn, connect with every other agent you can. They try to stop you from connecting with a lot of people if you don't have a paid account, so it's good to get a paid account. Connect with people on LinkedIn as much as possible and keep it going, keep connecting. You can download everyone's email and send them emails. Will they unsubscribe? Some of them will. But that's what you can do. You can get everyone's email and you can say, hey, I'm having an open house this day. It is valuable for people to know about an open house. You're not trying to sell anything, but you are letting them know, hey, I'm having an open house. This is where it's at. Feel free to join me. You can text your previous clients or just people that you know have been looking, hey, I'm having an open house. Just wanted to let you know, here's a flyer. I will send little e-flyers to myself on my phone, and I'll send it out to all of my clients and say, hey, we're having an open house this day. Feel free to join. Or if I know I'm singing at an event, I'll tell them, I'm going to be singing at such and such place. Feel free to join. Almost every text message I send, and I'm going to try to see if I can find one, almost every text message that I send with regard to an open house, to, I can't find it now, to a performance or anything that I'm doing that I can say, hey, sorry if that was loud in your ear, but hey, I'm trying to get your attention. Anything. It helps. I know I keep talking about exposure. We're only on number 3. But exposure. 2, be aware of your presence online. Be aware of what you're saying. I wouldn't recommend saying anything political. I wouldn't recommend saying anything religious. As a matter of fact, I have an agent that follows me and I follow him and we talk often. He's in Central Florida. He talks about politics a lot. And it's that, hey, if that's what you're into and it's what you want to do, that's fine. But I feel like it can hinder your business. It can hinder your image. And ultimately that does hinder your business. It's that simple. You have to be aware of what you're doing. Does that mean not to curse ever? Well, if that's what it means, then I wouldn't be on here. So, no. It just means religion, politics, those 2 things I would stay completely away from no matter how you feel. Number 3, know your market. Know your zip codes you want to be in, know your niche, know all of that, and know your financing. You'd be really surprised by how many people don't know about financing. For instance, in real estate, there are a few different typical loans that you'll see. In Florida, there is the VA loan, there is the FHA loan, there is the conventional loan, and then there's cash, and cash is king. You cannot have 2 FHA loans, and I was just talking to TJ about this. You cannot have 2 FHA loans outstanding when you go to buy a home, unless you have extremely extenuating, I don't even know if I said this right, bad circumstances where shit has happened and you have to have that, like you had a spouse that passed away and you're selling your house, blah, blah, blah. Very rarely can you have 2 FHA loans outstanding. Had I known that when I first started, it would have saved me and my clients a lot of time and a lot of grief on a specific transaction that I was on. So know your market. Know your financing. Be just as good, if not better, at financing than your lender is. Get a lender who will talk to you about that. Get a lender who doesn't mind giving you all that information. Give them as much information as possible, your clients. Give your clients as much information as possible. The more informed you are, the more informed they can be, and the more they trust you. If you don't know what you're talking about, they won't trust you, and then they won't work with you. So some of it's going to be through trial and error, but the more that you can find out ahead of time, the better. So that is the fourth thing, or third thing, know your market. Actually, the fourth thing was give information. Give as much information as you can. Don't feel like you have to hold back information just because, well, if I give them too much, they're going to go to another real estate agent. And, so somebody just called on a lead, for example, and they want to know, well, is this house still for sale? Well, a lot of agents will say, okay, but you don't want to give them the information just yet. You want to ask them, okay, well, yeah, let me look that up for you, but while I'm looking, what are you looking at? It's okay to engage people in conversation. That's awesome. Get to know them, what they're looking for, because you might find something in there immediately that says, oh, yeah, the listing is available, but they don't qualify for the financing that the seller is accepting. Whatever it is. But still, give them as much information as possible. Give them information. Don't withhold information for fear that you're going to lose someone, because it's a shortage mentality. Don't have a shortage mentality in real estate. You will get butthurt all the time. You will be very upset all the time if you think of, well, I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose a client. I don't want to lose money, so I'm going to do this. If you think like that, you will lose. You'll lose your clients. You'll lose your confidence. Just give people as much information as they ask for. That being said, don't feel like you have to spend hours upon hours for finding information that someone else can very well find themselves. I learned that the hard way. And I think we all do in some point or another if you're in sales. So just give people as much information as you can give them, be exposed to everywhere. This is a side note, I wouldn't recommend being on Facebook as a real estate agent. And if there are any other realtors listening and they're like, what the hell is wrong with her? Everybody's on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. It wasn't helping my business. It's not I joked. I used to say, oh, because, celebrities don't have Facebook. And it was a joke. Basically, I feel like there are a lot of nosy people on Facebook. There are relatives that just want to know what's going on, which it's awesome if they are seeing what's going on, if you have your kids posted. But I didn't use Facebook to post pictures of my kids. I don't use anything to post pictures of my kids. Nothing. I send that information directly to, thank you. I send that information directly to family and friends. But Facebook is for nosy people. Any way you shake it, feel how you feel. I'm not telling you if you feel something else, you're a fucking idiot. I'm not saying that. Just saying that's how I saw it. It doesn't help your business ultimately too. And if it's not promoting your business, if it's for nosy people and it's promoting your business, do it. Got to get attention. But if it's simply for people to comment, like friends from high school, when they decide to say something and you're like over here trying to do an open house and they'll just say something so outlandish. Hey, remember that time you did that really stupid thing in high school? I've had people actually do that. And I had a lot of high school friends on Facebook and I said, yeah, I'm just going to shut it down. So again, it wasn't helping my business. It could be totally different from someone else, but I can just tell you from my experience, the social platforms that I would use would be basically everything but Facebook. Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn is essential for a real estate agent. And hit as many other contacts as possible on LinkedIn. Follow people that have like-minded, or not like-minded, but similar professions. So appraisers, surveyors, because you want to start building your own portfolio also. You want people to know, thank you. You want people to know who your team is, who do you work with. So you want to have a good surveyor for your buyers. You want to have a good appraiser just for the knowledge, because you can't choose your appraisal company that you work with. The lender doesn't even typically get to. They just choose from a handful of appraisers. So start to build your network and understand how it works. So start calling people and say, hey, do you have 5 minutes? I just want to ask you what your job is like. What do you do on an inspection? What's a 4-point inspection? What's the difference between that and a full inspection? What the hell is a wind mitigation? Why does my client need it? What is WDO? Ask those questions. Do your own research. The more you know, the more you can give information to your clients. And again, then they trust you and they will refer you. And if you did a damn good job while you were working with them, then trust me when I say they will refer you. The highest price point that I have had the opportunity to, how do I put this? Had the opportunity to get the best referrals from it was in the millions. It was fantastic. The reason why was because I knew what I was talking about. No other agent does what I'm telling you. They might do some of it. They might do this part, and then they might do that part, and they might do that part. Put it all together. And if anybody doesn't know who Grant Cardone is, I highly recommend listening to what he says. Go on YouTube. You can find a lot of his free content that tells you how to get attention. So that's the first thing. Anyway, so step 1, exposure. Step 2, be aware of yourself, of your image. Step 3, know your market, know your niche, know your zip codes, know your price points, all of that. Step 4, give as much information as you can to your clients. And that, in order to do that, you have to get as much information as you can. You really have to know what you're talking about. I would start, if you live in a community that has, you know, single family homes and townhomes, then I would start at home first, just so that you can have a basis of comparison going forward, and then go from there. And that's it. I think I've given you a lot of information. Yeah. I'm going to write a blog on this too, and I'm going to have some links in there about like where I create my own designs, canva.com. I like to make a lot of my marketing material there. So anytime you see something that says Opera Realtor branded on Twitter or on LinkedIn or Instagram, it's because I actually did make that. Any of the quotes that I do, the quote canvas, I did make those. I just took the quote and I put it on there. So anyway, those are things that I would do. I push out that content. Canva is a really great place to put, if you like to be creative, it's a great website to put get all that shit out. Tweet Jukebox is good for automation. So if you have, let's just say you have a listing and you don't want to keep saying, hey, I've got a listing, take a look. Hey, I've got a listing, take a look. Well, then put it on Tweet Jukebox. It can send it out in whichever increment that you want. It is a paid program, but I think you can do like one jukebox, where basically if you have like a real estate jukebox, then you have all these tweets going out, and like every 3 hours it puts another one. So make sure you have a whole lot of, enough tweets to give content. Somebody I would highly recommend listening to and talking, with others about, because it's good to have a mastermind, is Napoleon Hill. It'll keep your brain. It will keep you on track, because let me tell you, there are days where you will not want to do any of this. And it's rough. It's really rough. As Tony Robbins said, people are rewarded in public. How does it go? People are rewarded in public for what they've been practicing for years in private, or something to that effect. It is it's a hustler's game to be a real estate agent. I feel like you can just go. The benefits are very great. It's very, very awesome. I love being a real estate agent. I love singing. I love doing both at the same time and incorporating both of those things. So if you have a niche that you can find, use it. Let it work for you and go from there. All right, guys, so I'll be back next week, if not sooner. Oh, I have a performance, so if any of you are in Orlando, please feel free to come over to Baldwin Park on Saturday. I'm going to be doing the National Anthem Kickoff. I'm going to sing for them. It's for the Central Florida Navy League. They're so sweet. I go and do the National Anthem for them often, and I just love all of them over there. Not to mention my dad, my stepdad, and my husband, all of them were in the Navy, so anything I can do to help and lend my voice, I like to do. So that's it, guys. Please feel free to take a look. If you have any more questions about anything at all, feel free to sign up on my website, theoperarealtor.com. You can find me on Twitter. I don't check private messages very often, but you can definitely sign up on theoperarealtor.com, and I get that right away in my email. And I'm also, again, I'm on Snapchat, so feel free to go there. I use that platform most often now. So I'll see you guys later. Stay great. And yeah, that's it. I don't have like a good ending. I'll talk to you guys soon.